Well, sometimes when you go out and you do your first job professionally, or it could even be your 100th job professionally, you get what is called imposter syndrome, where you feel like, why are people hiring me to do this job? Like, I'm not qualified to do this job. Well, let me guys fill you in on a secret that everyone struggles with imposter syndrome. It's not just you, it's not just me. Everyone has felt at one time or another that they are not qualified to do the work that they are called to do. I remember when I first started out in this handyman industry, I'm like, man, only if people knew like who I am or where I came from or the background that I have or the fact that I didn't grow up with a dad, they would be blown away that they are hiring me to do the work on their house. It's really quite interesting when we are completely honest with ourselves that, wow, like we are the only ones that know exactly who we are, like deep down, and know what we know. It's crazy to think that other people will hire us to do this type of work. But these are the things that I would recommend for you guys to do to overcome what is called imposter syndrome. Number one, I would encourage you to ask yourself, do you know what you're doing? Right? If someone hires you to do a garbage disposal, I remember when I first got hired to do my very first garbage disposal, you know, as a professional handyman, I was so scared, so nervous. I'm like, I hope I can do this right. But in reality, I had done dozens and dozens of garbage disposals before I ever did one professionally speaking. I've done dozens for friends and family and things like that, but I'd never done one professionally under the lines of, hey, I'm honestly handyman. I am the #1 handyman in Roseville, or whatever you want to say. It's quite an interesting perspective, but ask yourself, do you know what you're doing, right? And then think about, like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I've done this a dozen times. And the second thing that I would recommend for you to do is think about what you know and what you don't know, right? And what you don't know is almost as important as what you do know. Because the matter of fact is, if you know what you don't know, you know that you need to rely on other people or other things to figure out that wisdom, and you're not so cocky or egotistical to think that you know everything, because once you think that you know everything, you actually get yourself into more of a pickle. When you're so like egotistical and you don't want to ask anyone any question or YouTube anything or Google anything or call your dad for anything, that's when things start going south and you start making big mistakes on projects. Usually simple mistakes that you could have easily avoided if you had just asked someone. Because in reality, we all don't know everything. You can say, oh, I'm the best one around. I know everything there is to know about right? But in reality, you don't. You may know a lot more about something than I know about that same thing, and I may know a lot about something that you have no clue about or you don't know much about. And that's perfectly fine. That's what makes this world go around. Other people have information that we need. So you need to be humble enough to know when you need to ask for direction or ask for information. I love one saying that my metal shop teacher said is that wisdom isn't knowing all the answers. It's not having all the answers, but true wisdom is knowing where to find the answers. In that era, it was what textbook to open to find the correct answer, what page to go to. But now it's, okay, what YouTube channel do I search? Or who do I call? What professional in my town can I call to get this information? That's where it really pays off, is having a community of people that surround you to give you the information that you need to get. I remember I shared this story back a long time ago. We are on day 51 of my 100-day video challenge here, but I shared this probably on day like 3 or 4 or 5. One of my first-ish jobs, I was probably about a year in, I was installing a doggy door into a sliding screen door. And I installed it, everything went great, but as part of installing a doggy door, at least this model, is you have to install a new lock at the bottom that you basically push with your foot, and it inserts itself into the sliding screen door to lock it in place. So I was drilling the hole in the sliding screen door for that little latch, and I drilled just a little bit too high, and I just nicked the edge of that glass, and the whole pane of the sliding glass door just shattered. And the worst thing was, the client and all of their family were outside having a picnic or whatever, and they just all looked at me and I looked at them like through this opening in their sliding glass door that should have not been an opening, but now it was because the glass completely shattered. I went to Facebook. I had created the Handyman Journey Mastermind group on Facebook. Little plug, if you're not on that, it's completely free. There's a link in the description for that Facebook group. I would highly recommend it. Went on there, said, hey guys, I don't know what to do. help me out. There was also another contractor in my area that I called right away. Hey friends, I wanted to interrupt this video real quick and let you know that I've created an Amazon store with a whole bunch of links to tools that I highly recommend and tools that we use every single day in our handyman business. And also, handyman business books. Books have been drastic to the growth of my business, and I would highly recommend that you check that out. So I will put a link in the description below where you can gain access to that Amazon store and see everything that I recommend. Also, I wanted to let you know that you can schedule a free consultation call with me over at handymanjourney.com/coaching. I look forward to talking with you soon. Let's get back to today's video. Through both channels, I got some amazing information. The contractor was familiar with where I was working. He said, okay, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna wanna go down the street, make a left, go to Orangevale Glass and talk to them. They're gonna be able to order you new glass. This is gonna cost you a lot of money, but this is how you do it. This is what you do. And same with the Handyman Journey Mastermind Group. Really, that was more mentality. The cool thing about surrounding yourself with people, specifically on the Handyman Journey Mastermind Group, is surrounding yourself with the correct type of mentality. You want to surround yourself with people that are forward thinking, people that believe that tomorrow can be better than it is today. And that's really what you find in an entrepreneurial circle. The circle that we have created at the Handyman Journey Mastermind Group on Facebook is absolutely phenomenal because it's surrounded with people that are forward thinking. They're not people that are stuck in their way. They're not people that are just like surviving on the paycheck that they've been surviving on for the last 20 years, and that's just the way it is. They're hoping, they're hoping that they can make it. They're actually, going out and, taking a bet on themselves, hoping that tomorrow can be better than it is today. Those are the type of people that you want to surround yourself with. All right, the first thing to do to overcome this imposter syndrome is to be honest with yourself and ask yourself, do you know what you're doing? And then just remind yourself, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I've done this 1,000 times and I got this. The second thing is to be honest with what you don't know and to be ready and willing to ask for help when needed. The third thing is be honest, not only with yourself, but with the client. Now to some people, this might sound absolutely asinine, but I'm telling you the truth. Be honest with the clients about what you do know and what you don't know, and they will respect you so much more. Be honest when you're feeling that imposter syndrome. I remember one time I was doing some work at a client's house and we were doing a few knickknacks, things that I've done before, screen doors, window screens, all kinds of stuff, kitchen faucets, things like that. And he asked me at one point if I could repair the concrete in the front yard. On the front driveway, there was basically a clean out and they had chipped out like a 3x4 rectangle to replace the clean out that was in the middle of the driveway. And he said, hey, I got this hole in my driveway. I'm wondering if you could just cement over it, even with the clean out, things like that. And I was completely honest with him. I'm like, dude, I would love to do that. That really sounds fun, but I gotta be honest with you. I've never done concrete work like that. The only concrete work I've ever done is fence posts, but I would absolutely love to do that. I'd love to learn. And I left it at that. And I said, so if you want me to do it, I can. If not, that's completely fine. But I want to be upfront and honest that I've never done that job before. But I'm pretty confident that I can figure out how to do it. And he came back and he says, yeah, go for it, man. I'd love for you to do it, And so I gave him a quote for it. And what I did is I asked on the Handyman Journey Mastermind Group, and I got all my information from there and YouTube videos. I actually made a YouTube video about it. I made a vlog about it. This was like years ago. So I will try and find that vlog and I will link it up here so you could check that out. I have a whole bunch of vlogs of me actually doing the work if you're interested in those. But honest with him, I did the job. I think it turned out all right. There were a few things that I learned from that job that I would have done differently. For one, in the front there was a piece of cement that had kind of sagged down. So my new piece, I kind of just like angled it with it, where in all reality what I should have done is probably jacked up this piece of concrete to make it level, but it is what it is, and that's in the past. But at the end of the day, the customer was happy, got rid of the hole in his driveway, and I learned something, so that was pretty cool. So at the end of the day, remember that we all struggle with imposter syndrome. We all feel inadequate of doing the work that we're called to do. But remind yourself, what do you actually know? Right? And stand behind your work. Like, I know that if I don't fully know how to do something, I'm going to figure out how to do it. That's just my personality. And we've really built that personality into our business where our technicians have the same mindset. if they don't know something, like there's nothing wrong with calling me, with calling the head technician, with looking it up on YouTube. There's nothing wrong with that at all whatsoever. Just having that ability and that open and honest kind of personality in your business is really the way that you want to go to overcome this imposter syndrome. So guys, we are on day 51 of our 100-day video challenge, and I am loving it. On day 50, I put a call out there for you guys to drop me some comments, and that was absolutely fantastic. I love hearing from you guys. So drop me a comment in the comment section below. I love reading those. I love engaging. It really helps kind of me get more energized for the next day. So drop a comment, like this video, and subscribe to this channel. We would love to have you along on this journey as we are going to 100 days on this video challenge. Thank you guys so much, and we will catch you guys tomorrow.